This is the Transformers Generations Studio Series number 49 Deluxe class from Transformers the movie Bumblebee. Finally, we get a 2007 Camaro treatment of Bumblebee in the Studio Series line, and I picked up this figure at Hobby Corner. Look at the packaging. Pretty neat. Let's get him out of packaging. And here is number 49, Bumblebee, out of packaging. And he actually looks okay. I have a few issues with the figure, but overall, I mean, at this point in time, if you're still collecting the Studio Series figures, you've probably been acclimatized to how much smaller in scale they are compared to the original movie line of Transformers figures. And this is a classic example of that. He's just as small as the other Bumblebee figures that has been released in the series, and he actually looks okay. He's actually pretty good. Not terrible at all. It's a pretty solid figure, albeit it still feels a little bit light because of the use of the plastic. The plastic they used, it's common for most Studio Series figures, but yeah, the colors came out great. Paint apps are great. Hardly any issues with it, even in the head sculpt. Quick look at that head sculpt. I mean, I was completely expecting a horribly painted head sculpt, but it looks fine. So, wow. Pretty good figure. He comes with a nice set of instructions, and of course, as any Studio Series figure, it has a nice diorama. And this diorama, if you remember in the first Transformers movie by Michael Bay, this is that tunnel where he was still that old 1970s Camaro, and he scanned the new 2007 Camaro, and that's how he took on his new alt mode. So pretty neat. Let's get him out of the stand. Amazing Yamaguchi Marvel figure stand by Kyoto. I get a lot of questions for that. So it comes with this blaster, which is nice about the blaster. You don't need to remove the arm. It actually fits. You can actually hold the blaster, and it's sort of very seamlessly molded so that it looks like it's the arm transformed into a blaster. I like that. I like those kinds of things. I'm glad I don't have to remove that arm. Pretty neat. You can actually store the blaster at the back right there. It doesn't hold very well though, so okay. So here's the figure. Let's talk about articulation first. Talk about paint apps. Paint apps are okay. We'll see more of that in car mode. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint, or the neck is on a ball joint. Ball hinge shoulders, ball jointed elbows, no wrist swivels for that matter. The hinges are for the forearm guards. He's got a waist swivel. Ball jointed hips. That one just popped off. Okay, nice little ball joint. Thigh, no, not a thigh swivel, but I guess it's a thigh swivel, technically. And then that's a hinge knee, bends 45 degrees. Some foot articulation because of transformation. And they've kind of fixed that, much like what they did with Junker Bumblebee. You got to push it all the way closer to the foot so it doesn't flop over. It's pretty solid. And it's got a little bit of ankle rockers. There's a pivot there. That's because of transformation, but it serves as nice little ankle rockers. So, okay. So onto the sculpt itself. A little bit hollow in some places here and there, especially that spine right there. You can see like a hollowness, but it's neatly covered by the backpack, which is cool. One gripe I have about this figure though is, unlike his Junker Bumblebee counterpart, let's do a size comparison while we're at it. He's a little bit bigger, but if you notice here, the front wheels actually fold diagonally with the doors. So that's cool. I mean, it sort of hides that in the silhouette. For this particular Bumblebee, the doors actually are nice. They look like in the movie. They're like the Bumblebee wings, but these things, they just stick out. The wheels with the fender, they just stick out. They can fold it this way, but it's not accurate. It should be like this, but they don't move backwards or forward or down or anything like that. If you move it down, it's going to move down. So that's a bit of an eyesore for the silhouette, but that's the way it's been designed. That's, if you look at the packaging, look at that. It's just sticking out right there. Kind of sucks, but that's what it is. Okay. Now, another issue that I only have basically for the sculpt, it's just this one and the head sculpt. The head sculpt looks great. As you can see, it's a nice armored or helmet faceplated Bumblebee head sculpt. The problem is you can't remove that faceplate. That's it. It's molded in, and you get that head forever. I mean, just like this. And knowing Hasbro, I'm sure they're going to repurpose this mold. They're going to milk the heck out of this mold and do another version, like a battle damage version, but one with this head sculpt. Now, I don't know if you can swap the heads. I don't want to risk it. You know, you've seen my videos. You've seen my bad luck in these things. If I try and do that, I'll probably break it and something like that. So I don't want to risk it because I paid a lot of money for this one. But you could probably swap it with this one if you tried. But I wouldn't worry too much about it because I'm pretty sure Hasbro is going to release a version which is unmasked, which kind of sucks because you want just one Bumblebee figure for the 2007 movie, the first Transformers movie, on your shelf. And it would have been nice if this particular head mask or helmet just moved slightly up. You know, it would have been really nice if them had completed the figure. But as it is, that's what we get. Okay, one final comparison. The original Bumblebee. Oh, it's not from the first movie. This is from Revenge of the Fallen, actually. One of my favorite deluxe class Bumblebee figures. Revenge of the Fallen, Bumblebee, and wow. The deluxe class figure, price point, toy line, action figure has come a long way. Look at that. Let's transform him. The transformation will look very familiar, at least for the upper part of the torso, but the lower legs are slightly different. And yeah, it will look familiar because if you've transformed the previously released Studio Series Bumblebee figures, you'll probably have an easy time doing this. Okay, so what you want to do first, the wings, fold them out like this, form the door panels. Okay, then untab those forearm guards like that. Go ahead and make his palms face up. Okay, that's what the instructions said. Okay, like that. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to unfurl this backpack. It's amazing. It's not on a pin. It's actually just on a friction joint, and it actually holds nicely. I mean, there's enough clearance in the transformation that this thing doesn't really pop off, but it's just on a friction joint. So interesting re-engineering on that. And what you want to do is just fold it up like this so it moves past these things, the doors. Okay, like that. Raise it up like that. It'll stay there for now. Okay, onto the chest. Detach that chest right there. Split these chest pieces like that. Rotate them. And then what you want to do is you want to, you just want to fold this piece up all the way here. And what you want to do is you want to, okay, let's get the shoulders out of the way. And what you want to do is you want to rotate that whole shoulder or wing assembly down like that. And then this whole chest piece is going to be tucked under the bonnet like that, all the way to the bonnet. And then these two chest pieces are just going to combine with that front grille of the Camaro. Okay, so that's that. You can already see where this one's going. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to rotate the arms this way. Okay, and then rotate the waist. Let's get it out and done with like that. And then what you want to do is you want to tuck in the arms this way. Just fold that shoulder hinge down, all the way down, like that. And then the forearm, there is a slot right there for this middle peg. For this whole area right there, they're just going to rest right there. It doesn't actually tab in. It's just going to rest right there. Okay, and then these, don't be afraid. It's going to be very tight. Yes, it's tight the first time you do it, but it snaps in very nicely into a very satisfying, very solid front part of the car. So kudos to Hasbro's engineering for that. Okay, now move these panels off to the side so they're not blocking anything. What you want to do is you want to rotate at the knee, okay? Thigh swivel, I suppose. Okay, go ahead and push the foot out like that. Push this foot out like that. And then lock it in place like that so it doesn't move or fidget about. Okay, lock it in place. Okay. Fold out the rear windshield like that. Okay. Fold it sidewards like this. It'll form the rear part of the bumper. That. These knee pieces or shin guards are going to fold inside like this. That. Okay, just fold them like that for now. Then we're going to fold them inward like that when you fold these knee pieces, okay? So, speaking of which, fold the knee pieces all the way in like that so that the foot is actually hitting or nestling just resting just underneath the roof of the car. Okay, like that. It doesn't tab into anything or anything like that. It just stays there. Okay, do the same on the other leg. Okay, like that. Okay. All right, and then join those two leg pieces together. Pretty neat. So far, so good. Oh, sorry, my bad. Go ahead and tuck those shin armor or shin guards inside like that. Okay. All that's left is really to close the doors. Okay. Go ahead and fold the rear fenders here. Tab them in right there. Close the doors. They're on double hinges, so make sure you're aware of that. Okay, and it's all about just tabbing things in. It's a nice, very tight tab for both parts, both pieces. So it's very solid alt mode once you get to it. So yeah, this one's a little, okay, there we go. So there you go. There is Bumblebee, Movie 1 Bumblebee in his Camaro, 2007 Camaro alt mode. It's actually very solid. And you know what? Okay, this one will tab in right here. Okay, pretty obvious. Okay, pretty cool. And what's interesting is all these pieces, they actually clear it by about 1.5 millimeters. So I want to see how awesome that is. Look at that. It actually clears the surface of the road. So you'll have a very smooth rolling alt mode for Bumblebee. So very impressed with this. Very impressed with the engineering. Despite those kibble that I mentioned for the front wheels, as well as the non-removable helmet, I actually think it's pretty cool. And look at that, nice racing stripe. Some unevenness of the color, the yellow color, because this is yellow plastic and this is clear plastic painted yellow. That's fine, easily understandable. It's been a staple for most of the Bumblebee figures and Transformers in the movie line. Okay. And my final thoughts are, should you get it? If you're a big fan of the Studio Series, absolutely get this. You're gonna need this for your collection. It's numbered, it's our first run. It's our first figure that has the 2007 or more modern Camaro Bumblebee. That excludes number 25 because number 25 was just a repack of Age of Extinction Bumblebee. That doesn't count. But for an actual Pseudo Series scaled Bumblebee figure, modern Camaro figure, this is the one to get. This is the one we have right now. And I think Hasbro and Takara Tomy did a wonderful job on it. There are some issues with the kibble and the helmet and all that. But transformation, engineering, the colors came out great. I'm actually very pleased with this figure. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Best of luck to everybody hunting it down. It comes super case. I hope you've enjoyed this little video review. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below what you think of this new Camaro Bumblebee figure from the Studio Series line. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. This has been the Transformers Generations Studio Series number 49 from Transformers the Movie. Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Thanks for watching.